Wow, ladies and gentlemen, when I began to tell you that on June 2nd, I was seeing moisture signatures that were saying the 17th system was going to be major. I was talking about the whole system. And I believe I specifically said, with or without a hurricane, this thing is going to cause major damage. And back then, I was just talking about the Pacific Northwest system that rolls across the east, and then the Gulf of Mexico system, which is now rolling north. I hadn't even counted on the Hurricane Bud moisture that is being added up into the southwest. So, let us check in on day one of this 3-day scenario. 60 sinkholes have opened up. Dangerous flooding. It has destroyed multiple roads in Michigan. We have major flooding in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan. So, what we have is a situation. We have watched over $2 trillion worth of infrastructure, public property, private property, get destroyed by hurricanes, tornadoes, wind, and flooding since 2017. And so Mother Nature is knocking down our stuff faster than we can rebuild it. And we ain't even really trying to rebuild it because we're too busy arguing over politics and positioning. And so this storm that I talked about, you got a giant swath of rain over the next few days, pretty much across the middle of the United States. Like I said, we've already encountered major flooding problems in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois. In Texas, we're still waiting as the giant storm in the Gulf moves slow and steady. But this is one big bullseye painted up and down the entire Texas coast. Imagine a giant holding a giant glass of water and just pouring it right there. It's going to cause a lot of problems. Right now, they're looking at anywhere up to 14 to 5 inches all the way up and down the coast. So, we're seeing possible flash flooding in West Virginia at the moment. These are some rain totals from yesterday. We're talking 6.7 inches in Michigan, Minnesota, and then 5 inches in Wisconsin. And if only 6 inches can do that much damage, then how much can this much damage? How much rain? That's over 6 inches. That right there is double 6 inches. How much damage can that do? We see we got flooded out, roads completely washed out. See, I was saying smoke them if you got them, and cut them now if you can. Remember, our government chose to lie to us and say, hey, only like 50 people died in Puerto Rico, where the number is closer to 5,000, possibly 10,000. Now, it appears I was off a pulse. I thought the main rain would hit Houston at about 6, which would be now at 6:45. But it looks like this storm is going slower than I imagined, and the models imagined too. So you have the lightning maxed out at 29,000. 29.4 was the top number I saw. That's what main way I look at the pulse when it goes up and down. And so now it's dropped to 23,000. So like I said, as our pulses go up and down, that's how I'm gauging the peak. And so when we got to 29, but look at these straight lines of lightning. That's crazy. So it's 23,000 strikes in the last 2 hours. But, so we're going to get another pulse when everybody's asleep. And I don't think people are going to be too worried about this storm. Even though they're going to wake up and shit might be flooded. Big time. Like I said, here was the peak at 29,000. That was about an hour ago. So I called the peak right. I just didn't know the storm was going to hang back. There's a cool photo from yesterday by Chick Tam. We got a supercell rolling through somewhere. Thanks, man. I forgot. I don't even know. Like I said, there's a giant bullseye for Texas. So I've been warning you for 2 weeks because of that moisture bullseye, pretty much, with or without a hurricane. And remember, the National Hurricane Center still at this moment has our system listed at, oh my God, look at that. It's definitely an Easter basket of severe weather. And Texas hasn't even gotten in onto the action yet. What was I looking for? I know, something important, I imagine. Oh yeah. So they still have this at a 20% chance of development as of a half hour ago. So 20% over the next 48 hours. Let's check in on our little storm. And so, like I said, it's died down, but it's going to repulse up when everybody's sleeping. I'm guessing it'll start up at 10 or 11 and then go till about 2 or 3 in the morning. And so, just by watching this thing, as I have, it's almost doggy paddling or standing still. Right? So, I would still say that, yeah, there's definitely a 20% chance that this thing can start to get a core and rotate. And so there's still a chance you will wake up tomorrow on the Gulf to a tropical storm or a hurricane. And that is not fear-mongering. Because like I said, what's their faces? The professional dudes, and not only professional and governmental, are saying you got a 20% chance. And that is all the precipitable water that is slamming up into Texas. And Crankywxguy has been telling me that with or without a named storm, we will probably see 50 to 70 mile per hour winds when this thing does come on shore. So, regardless of tropical storm, hurricane, a no name nothing, this thing is going to have some devastating impacts. Let's go back to here. 60 sinkholes open up, destroy major roads, multiple roads, with just 5 and 6 inches of rain. And so that is 9, 10, 11. That's 5 inches almost along the entire coast of Texas. And just a lot of Texas, or some Texas meteorologists were making fun of this storm. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Sometimes I need a strong, solid crush to drive me through these storms. And, well, Selena Gomez is about as good a choice as any. Wow. So that's a cool lightning storm. I see your lightning video, and I raise you 20,000 million volts. You can supply your own sound effect at home. Yeah, so I monitored. Apparently, Selena Gomez's mom has some major thoughts on who her daughter should date. I hope he's cool and strong and smart and funny and talented, and he takes good care of her. Whoever it is. Plus, he's a really good kisser. But yeah, I'm totally obsessed with this double-barreled Gulf of Mexico monster. Whereas, right now, the real damage is being done in the north-central United States. But if you look at that thing, I mean, knowing that thing's going to pulse up a few more times, and the storm is going to last 3 more days, if you are dropping your guard, and you live along the coast, well, then you're not being a very good Asteroid Fight Club member. And so, see, the darker red was the top of the pulse, and then it comes back down, and it'll pulse up when you're sleeping, as if you plan to sleep tonight. I do not. So, like I said, the heavier rain bands haven't even really started to make it across Texas yet. So, that'll start to happen. If you go to sleep, you probably wake up to lightning and thunder. That's pretty cool, right? Alright, so, Luke 24. No, we want 96 for sure. So, you guys having a good Father's Day? Oh, another fascinating thing is, as your planetary defense commander, you know, I rely on your contributions and donations through my PayPal to live and eat and stuff. And I just realized, oh shit, if this thing rapidly intensifies to a hurricane tonight at like 2 a.m., I'm like, I'm going to get out of town. Like, I just spent money on dinner and something to drink, and I don't even have enough gas money to get out of town. So I'm just going to have to sit the hurricane through if it does turn into a hurricane. So, man, mama, don't let your babies grow up to be planetary defense commanders, because holy shit, this job pays like crap. You gotta figure out how to make that better. Anyway, you guys stay cool, and I'm gonna be obsessing with this storm tonight, so you can choose to pay attention or not. You know, free will, it's a major thing, and I love you. Wow, look at, but if these two storms hook up, it look like they're trying to pull them towards each other. Katie, bar the door, and make sure it's floodproof. All right, stay cool.